for LB emerged sort of organically, really. It didn't. It sort of emerged as an outcome of our son dying, Connor, or Laughing Boy. I was already blogging about Connor regularly because he was so hilarious, and so there was a sort of bit of a following of his story and our family life anyway. So when he died, a lot of people online sort of were quite touched and outraged by what had happened, and within that space the campaign Justice for LB emerged and gathered momentum very quickly, actually. We were surprised.
There are lots of kind of experiences that our members have actually had, and so when we heard about sort of the bit of what had actually happened, I myself actually have epilepsy, so it hit a real important chord.
Well, our experience was as soon as Connor turned 18, we weren't listened to, and I hear from so many other families who say that their adult children are they're sort of distanced from them, there's barriers put in place.
The idea for the bill first came from Mark Neary, Stephen Neary's dad. Mark was very involved in Justice for LB and the discussions about the campaign, and he was saying that it's not right that disabled people should be sent away from home without a chance for that to be challenged by the person and the family. So that was the first idea that came forward for how the law should be changed.
What would change is that people would have a greater opportunity to work with service providers and commissioners and agencies to find a way to support them in their own home or in a place where they want to be, involving their family and hopefully their friends and other people who are key to them.
There are basically three big ideas in the first draft of the bill. The first set of ideas, which are in clauses 1 to 3, are about giving people a really hard-edged right to stay in the community and get the support they need to make that happen. The next set of ideas, in clauses 4 to 6, are saying that if the state has to come along and make arrangements for where the person lives, they should be the most appropriate arrangements that can be made, and they should put the person's own views and wishes first, and those should then be approved by the right body and monitored and reported on to make sure that people don't get lost in the system. And then the third set of ideas are about the Mental Capacity Act and the Mental Health Act, and how those need to change to protect disabled people's rights and to give families the right to have a say in what goes on. There is already an idea in law that disabled people and families should always be consulted. The problem is that's not strong enough. We think that the rights aren't strong enough at the moment, and that's why we need to strengthen the law to give people's views more weight.
And it's our own personal experiences that actually hit the chords. And I hope that, that we actually get some members of Parliament to support the actual bill and to actually be recognised that examples like Winterbourne View and other events like it actually don't happen again, but people actually in power actually learn from those mistakes, and so that there are consequences right down the decision-making tool that what happens to us actually is important. We do actually have a voice, and it is dangerous not to actually take on board our views.
It would mean that the state bodies, which are basically the local authority, the council, and the NHS, the National Health Service, would have to do things differently. They'd have to make sure that in every case they thought first about whether the disabled person could stay in their community and what support they would need. And they'd then have to think about, if that wasn't possible, what else was best for them, working with the person and their family and friends.
Oh, loads of feedback. All sorts of feedback. We've had so much feedback that we haven't collated it yet. We're just encouraging this great big sort of, just tell us what you think, and we're getting comments from all sorts of people. family members, disabled people. There's events booked already around the country where they're going to be learning disabled people explaining the bill with the help of this film as well to other learning disabled people. And yeah, the response to it from a ministerial level down has been absolutely superb.